Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, Core Faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy at Walden University. So in this lecture, I will go over some anti-inflammatory properties. Adrian Hovat and colleagues wrote in here about anti-inflammatory effects of lavender and eucalyptus essential oils on the in vitro cell culture model of bladder pain syndrome using T24 cells. So only part of this we'll be discussing, especially in the results section. We're not too concerned. We won't be going over too much of that in detail, but it's really important to go through the introduction in this because in this article it's unique in that the introduction contains a lot of good information in terms of how essential oils interact with the body and what types of essential oils are especially important to combat inflammation. So there's many mechanisms by which inflammation can be stopped. I can think of tumor necrosis factor alpha, which is one that is worth knowing about, and it causes a lot of inflammation in terms of even genetic modifications. And then number two, NK alpha, NK kappa B. So that compound is also responsible for some inflammation. So I'll be going over all of this in the context of interstitial cystitis, which is a very chronic chemical irritation and inflammatory mechanism, which is not bacterial at all. So this is where it gets into MAP kinase and a lot of other pathways within the cell, which is a little bit more complex, but I'll be going over a diagram which shows all of that. So the epithelial dysfunction, urothelial bladder function, it's all the underlying cause is inflammation and urothelial apoptosis. And apoptosis, I know a lot of people don't know too much about it, but it causes cell death. And so when it causes cell death, that allows for more inflammation to take over. So inflammation, there's cardinal signs, which is swelling, redness, and then inflammation, and another one. So pain is part of that, and then heat. So all of these are characteristics of inflammation. And because we have made so much progress in understanding, there's a lot more to understand, but we have made so much progress, now biologic agents all go after those inflammatory biomarkers, and has been a godsend, honestly, in terms of what we're able to do now that we never were able to do before. So essential oils that we're going to be looking at within this article is, of course, the lavender essential oil, and the two chemicals that are extremely important and are actually part of other essential oils as well, is linalool, which is a part of lavender, which showed higher effect in decreasing pro-inflammatory cytokines, mRNA expression, than ACHP inhibitor following TNF-alpha pre-treatment. So there's actually even better sort of ways that it can happen. So all of these essential oils, now note, is not to replace any of the medications that you're taking. These are considered ancillary sort of treatments which you can, in conjunction with your main treatment, use. So the lavender essential oil will be covered in detail, but also eucalyptus and some other essential oils that are especially important. So interstitial cystitis, why even bother studying this? Well, 2.4 to 5.3 million men and about 3.5 to 8.6 million women suffer from symptoms of interstitial cystitis. So going into this, the NF-kappa B pathway, nuclear factor kappa B pathway. And so this is actually, this essential oil has been shown to even prevent smoke-induced lung inflammation from cigarettes. and other types of lung inflammation. This can counteract that. Again, eucalyptus is the main constituent of eucalyptus oil, and that has been shown to inhibit cytokine production and also considered to have inflammatory properties, anti-inflammatory properties. Because of its anti-inflammatory effect, it has been used for bronchial asthma, sinusitis, bronchitis, and COPD. So also this anti-inflammatory effect has been used against Alzheimer's disease as well. So again, NF-kappa B is regulating pro-inflammatory responses by regulating TNF-alpha. I'm going to show you in real time within a pathway how this happens. So any sort of pro-inflammatory cytokine is involved in a number of regulatory functions such as cell proliferation, apoptosis, which is cell death and induces the production of other cytokines. So the inflammatory response of cells eventually results in transcriptional upregulation of TNF-alpha, which is why when NF-kappa B works against it, TNF-alpha, this has a potent anti-inflammatory property. So other pro-inflammatory cytokines such as interleukin 6, interleukin 1 beta, and interleukin 8. These are all inflammatory cytokines which is blocked by some of the essential oils, especially lavender, which was mainly studied within this the context of this article. A lot of the other inflammatory anti-inflammatory properties are important, and you can go through this, but eucalyptol has been shown to reduce sterile chronic inflammation in the bladder. So this is what the study was all about. And then, so some of the essential oils were studied in cell culture, so this is all in vitro. And then enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay measures. So here's the PCR and how this was conducted, and the results again are not too informative, just important to see which one was functioning better. I want you to take a look at this figure, which is showing some of these mechanisms of how TNF-alpha works. So down here there's actually a figure that shows that. I wanted you to take a look. This is figure number 6, and here is the interstitial cystitis and the cystitis. So LPS or LTA is activating this, and here on the left hand side especially is important, TNF-alpha, and then NF-kappa B is actually blocking this TNF-alpha so that it doesn't get into the receptor. And then the TNF-alpha receptor is right here, and the TNF-alpha kind of docks in here. So if it's directly downregulated and blocked, then they're not going to be able to get on this receptor, and then MAP kinase, MAP kinase would not increase, and this will not cause interleukin. So if this successfully does happen, then it goes through the MAP kinase, MK, MAP kinase, and then MAP kinase, and the other parts. So this shows that there's actually genetic alterations. So that sums up what was conducted in this study. Again, in this study was examined the effects of lavender and eucalyptus and their main components, linalool and eucalyptus. Thank you for listening.